Hi, and welcome to a special edition of Easy Eats for Everyone. Today we're going to have guest chef Mike C. from our pre-vocational program teach us how to make his amazing homemade barbecue sauce. Before you get started, please remember, wash your hands, pull up your hair, and if you can't social distance, grab a mask. We'll see you in just a moment.
Hey, how's it going there, everybody there? My name is Mike here. I am the DSP for the Humphrey Prevoke. And today, what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be making something that I love to make there, and that is banging barbecue sauce. Are you guys ready to be making some banging barbecue sauce today? All right. Well, first things first. There, when you guys are going to be making some barbecue sauce, you're going to have like your utensils, okay? So first things first. There, you're going to have a whisk. All right. If you don't have a whisk at home, but you can always use a spoon there for stirring it up there. Okay. Now up next, you guys are gonna need like your cups there. Okay. So you guys are because we're gonna be doing lots of measuring with like the food with like all these ingredients here. Now third there, since you guys are gonna be at home, I would make sure that like one of your staff uses these here, like this, because this is going to be a knife, because we're going to be using it. All right, and also practicing knife safety as what I'm doing like right now. It's holding the knife here. And last but not least, is going to be a spatula. All right, and also and all that, you also need a pan there too. So you guys ready to cook? All right, so guys, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually start like making the barbecue sauce. So the first thing that we're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to take your pan there and you got to put it right on top of the stove, and you're gonna make sure that you're gonna turn on the stove, but you're gonna turn it on to like a medium to low heat there, because you don't want it to be hot there, because you don't want to be burning anything. All right. So what I'm doing like right here is when I'm going to be cooking this stuff there, I'm going to be making sure that like I have a glove on my hand there, and I'm going to be holding it at all times there when I'm going to be whisking it. All right. So now what we're going to do, the first thing that we're going to be taking is we're going to be taking the olive oil, and we're going to be pouring it in, just like that. To make sure it just gets around there. We just need it to be. We don't need it to be like way too hot there. We just need it to be boiling just enough. So we're gonna wait like a couple seconds for that there. Up next here, guys, what we're gonna be using here is we're gonna be using the ketchup. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get like all of the ketchup just like out there, just like that. Ooh, look at that. This is just making me hungry right now. Just looking at this there. We haven't even gotten started yet there. All right. Now, next thing you guys are going to do, make sure that you always are going to be wearing your gloves when you're doing this. Okay. Just like now, now it's starting to heat up just a little bit there, so we're going to turn it down. So we're just going to turn it down to like lower. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to whisk it there. Now, when you guys are like whisking, you guys have to make sure that you have like the handles out, and make sure that you're always going to be holding the handle with your glove there, because it can be really hot. It can be really hot, and you guys don't want to burn yourselves. All right. Up next here, the second thing that we're going to use is we're going to be using the tomato paste. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your spatula, and you're going to be taking the tomato paste, all of it right out of it, just like that. There you go. A little bit more. More. There we go. Just like the same thing there. Always make sure that you always are going to always going to hold the handle with the glove. Perfect. Now the third thing that's going to go on in is we're going to be using the rice vinegar. Just pour it on in there just like that. And then we're going to take the beer. Now, if you guys don't like beer, you can also use water. But today we're using non-alcoholic beer. Okay. Just pour it on in there just like that. You know what you guys are going to do? Same thing there. Make sure that you are wearing an oven mitt. And you're going to be holding the hand there, just like that. You know what I always say there when we're cooking? If it ain't messy, then you're not doing it right. Next thing that we're going to have to do, guys. We're going to take your mustard. Now we use like 3 cups of mustard, and what we're going to do is take your spatula, just take it right out, just like that. Because mustard is a key ingredient to all of the barbecue sauces. And it was the same thing. Just whisk it around. Alright, now up next here, what we're going to use is we're going to use like the liquid smoke there. Now this is a mesquite. This gives it like a nice little hickory flavor to it. Just pour it on in there like that. And now next, another key ingredient to making barbecue sauce is the Worcestershire sauce. So we're just going to pour it on in here just like this. And then we're going to make it'll have a little bit of a sweeter taste. So this is what we're going to be using is the molasses here. The 2 tablespoons of molasses, just pour it right on in there, just like that. There we go. And as we will still do this here, we're going to make sure that we always will use our oven mitt there. All right. Now, next, so what we're going to use here is to continue to make it have like a sweet taste. So we're going to use the almost like dark brown sugar. Pour it right on in there, and then we're going to mix everything else into it as well. So we're going to be using the what's it? Oh,
You have it. That's on you.
so we're going to be using the garlic. Onions. Actually, it'll get a little bit hot there, so we're going to lower the heat just a little bit more because we don't want it to burn. And we're going to be using I forget this one here, chili powder. Pour it right on in. We're going to be using the paprika. also the Himalayan pink salt. Now, just like the other ones here, we're going to make sure that we always like use our mitt to hold onto the handle. And we're going to stir it around. Now, like say, like if you want to, like, if you don't like your sauces like a little bit thicker, you can add like a little bit more like rice vinegar to it. You can also like add water. Water will not hurt it. It will just actually just make it taste better. You can add like other things as well to it there. Like if you want to make up your own taste. So like if you want to add like balsamic vinegar to the sauce, or you can do that as well. Now, up next to what we're going to be using is we're going to be using a full lime. Now, when you guys are going to be using the lime there, if you guys don't have like lime there, then when you have like lime juice, you can use lime juice. So what I'm going to do here is to make it like easier to squeeze the lime. Is I'm going to be taking like both my hands like this there and rolling it on the table, just like that. There you go. And then next there, if you guys are not really sure about like handling knives and that there, like I would recommend that you have like a staff to do so, or like anyone else that knows how to do it. So what we're going to be doing like right here is we're going to be doing like knife safety. So the way that I'm holding it right here is so that like I'm making sure that I do not like cut any of my fingers. So what I'm doing like right here is I'm holding the knife there with my thumb. Just like that on the handle. My index finger like this there, and I'm holding the knife there so I can actually have a good control of it. Now, next there, like when I'm cutting the knife there, we call this thing, it's called the claw. Now you got to make sure. So right here, what we're going to be doing with like the claw there, is we're going to be putting it up like this there, because if you do it like this, you're going to cut your fingers, and you don't want that. So you always want to make sure that you do the claw. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the lime juice. We're going to make sure that we squeeze the limes there, just like that there, just to get like all the juice like out of it. Look at it. There we go. Now, what we're going to do again there, guys, make sure that we always use an oven mitt there, so we can actually hold onto the handle while we are stirring. You can never leave like the kitchen when you're making like sauce there, because if you do, you can burn the sauce there, and there's like other things that can happen as well, and you do not want that to happen. So you may have to make sure that you're like always like constantly in the kitchen and keeping an eye on this at all times. All right. So we are all set there.
So Mike has patiently stayed in the kitchen with me for about the last 45 minutes to an hour, making sure that his sauce is perfect. If you could smell this kitchen, your mouth would be drooling. It is awesome. This sauce is a perfect consistency and color. You could use this as a marinade for different meats. You could use it as just a barbecue sauce on top of your burgers. This is fantastic. Mike, thank you so much for sharing your personal recipe.
And thank you for having me here. I would say like I'm really excited to be sharing this recipe for any of you guys here. And just like letting you guys know, you guys can like make like any kind of like barbecue sauce that you want there. Like say like if you want to like add a little bit of like other things to it, you can there, because there is no such thing as a wrong barbecue sauce.
Oh, amazing. If you have any questions at all about ingredients you would like to add, maybe you want it a little bit spicier and you want to know, you can always reach out to us at our Easy Eats email at easyeats@cseveryone.com, and we'll have Mike answer you personally. Thank you again, Mike.
No, thank you.
Please stay tuned for our next video here at Easy Eats. Don't forget, with Easy Eats, easing should be cooking and fun for everyone.